So today we're going to talk about extended multiplication facts. And the first thing we need to do is define the word extended or extend. Extend means to make longer. So for example, this poor guy wants to listen to music, but his stereo cord is not long enough to plug in. So he would need to extend the cord or use an extension cord, and then he would be in business. So how do we extend multiplication facts? Let's start with the idea that multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 is very easy. If we have 6 tens, it's 60. If we have 4 hundreds, it's going to be 400. If we have 3 thousands, it's going to give us 3,000. As you can see, you're basically taking these zeros and just sticking them on the end of the number you're multiplying by. And the same thing even works if you're multiplying by 2 or 3 or more digits. You're just 63 tens, you're just moving that zero there for the answers here, as you can see. So no matter how big the numbers are, you can see it's pretty easy to figure out the answers if you just take the zeros and then tack them onto the end, and then you'll get your answer quickly. So we know that 5 times 3 equals 15, so now can we do 50 times 3? It's actually pretty simple, but first let's talk about why it's simple. Another way to say 50 would be 5 tens, or 5 times 10, or 10 times 5. So 50 times 3 is the same as 10 times 5 times 3. Let's multiply 5 times 3 first, which is 15, and then 15 tens is giving us 150. Another example, we know 7 times 6 equals 42. So 7 times 60 is the same as 7 times 6 times 10, or 42 times 10. And this works no matter how many zeros you have in your numbers. So 60 times 30, 6 times 3 is 18, and then I have 2 zeros to add to that. Put my comma in the proper place, 1,800. 50 times 700, first 5 times 7 gives me 35, and then I have 1, 2, 3 zeros to add there for 35,000. And down here, 8,000 times 3, first 8 times 3 is going to be 24. And I've got, again, 3 zeros total. So the answer is 24,000. Let's practice a few. Take a look at these. 40 times 3. Think 4 times 3, and then you're just adding 1 zero. That would be 120. 90 times 30. Start with the 9 times 3. That one is going to be 27, and add your 2 zeros, or 2,700. How about 2 times 700? Start with your 14, add your 2 zeros for 1,400. 800 times 8,000. It's a square product of 64, and then we need to put 5 more zeros on. This is also great practice for adding commas in large numbers. We go from the right side in 3, we'll put a comma there, 3 more and a comma there, which gives us 6,400,000. And finally down here, let's go 4,000 times 4,000, starting with another square product of 16, and now we have a total of 6 zeros to add to that. There they are. We'll add the commas, and the answer there is 16 million. So here you can see why it's important to just learn your basic facts. And once you know your basic facts, 4 times 3, 9 times 3, 2 times 7, 8 times 8, 4 times 4, then suddenly you can start multiplying very large numbers together in your head And I think you can also see why we use the word extend or to make longer, because we're just taking our normal math facts and making them longer. We're extending facts we already know. I think you have the general idea of how this works, but let's just quickly take a look at some of the ways we practice our math facts. Here's a fact triangle we use, and this is part of Everyday Math Home Link 7.6 for 3rd grade. So 8 times what equals 1,600. You could also look at this with a division fact here. But I know that 8 times 2 equals 16. So start there. And then these are the zeros that I need to add. So 8 times 200 equals 1,600. And then just fill in the rest of your fact family for this extended multiplication fact. Like this, if you need a little bit of help. 2 multiplication and 2 division facts. Same thing with these multiplication division puzzles. 20 times 4, start with 2 times 4 equals 8, and add that 0. 4 times 6, that is not an extended fact, we should just know that. 6 times 30, that one would go down here. Start out with 6 times 3, and then add the 0, and 20 times 30, start out with your 2 times 3, and now we have 2 zeros to add there and there for 600. So that's it. If you have questions or anything or something you don't understand, you can post a comment, but this is just a quick way to really advance your multiplication once you get going with your basic facts. Thank you for watching.